What's up, folks? Today is today is July 25th, 2024, and so today is. I've run some of my strategies before. I've been programming for about a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, with TradeStation and EasyLanguage. So I've learned to do a lot of the basic stuff using the bulls and the integers and the doubles, just all the basic stuff. And then I went to doing the object-oriented EasyLanguage, so the objects and the trend lines and the horizontal lines, all that kind of stuff. And then I moved into the arrays and the vectors and the dictionaries, then the global dictionaries, and sharing and exporting to Excel and stream writing and all that kind of stuff. So I've been all around the place, but I've made strategies earlier on that were like really basic, simple strategies. I'm going to make one here today, just kind of show you some of the basic things that I was doing back then when I thought that I had decent strategy. And maybe it was. And maybe it was better than the ones that I'm doing now. However, the ones that I'm doing now, I'm looking at more complex things. So let's take a look at the chart. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is some of the stuff that I look at here. And you see that if you look back in my day, you'll see that in my day I record a lot of stuff from the chart. I record what's going on with the tick count, so how many ticks happen within a bar, what's going on with the spread, the distance between the ask and the bid, and then within the bar I'm looking at what's going on with the bid and the ask. So the level 1 data, the market, the level 2 data of the market, the bid and the ask, the size of the bid and the ask. If we got orders that are coming in above the ask or below the bid, if we got orders that are coming in at the market that are really large, all those kind of things. So I'm looking at a lot of stuff. All these other scripts here, though, so some scripts are very simple. Is the open over the close? Yes. Do we have a 9-period moving average? Average of close, 9 periods. Plot. So those things are really simple. Some of these other things here, you're using stuff in your toolbox. So you're pulling out information from the time and sales provider. You might be pulling information out from the market depth provider, and then you've got to use the information from the collection within those providers to pull that data at the right time, at the right count, to get something that's substantive. So I put I put all those things together. I've kind of been looking at this data here the last week or so, and I came up with something I thought would be a good script. So it pretty much gives me these plots here. So it's giving me pullbacks. And I'll just tell you the basics of it is that I'm looking for a bar under the 9-period moving average that has a bid that has cumulative bids higher than the cumulative ask, as well as, where is my time bar split? As well as down here on the time bar split, it'll have a 0 either on that bar or the next bar. So that's what I'm looking at. It's just giving us an indication that we have dropped down to a lower place, that we have met buyer interest, and that in that bar the time. So I'm looking at the bar in totality, the length of the bar, and I'm looking at how many ticks, how many intra ticks, the time of the intra ticks is. I'm looking at the time relative the top half to the bottom half. So if the bottom half has a lot more time and then the top half is starting to show hardly no time, that means that you're spending a lot more time on the bottom bar, and then at the top of the bar it's shooting through it. spending time at the bottom of the bar, and then top half shoots through it. So we don't want to get caught up in that and buying too much at the end of that shoot, because then we're buying we're doing the FOMO thing, right? So as soon as you see that big wick up, that's when you're buying, and then that's usually the time when it's time to sell. So I'm trying to use, like I said, the 15-second time frame. I'm using the information that I have pulled to the data, pulled to the chart, to see if I can get in sooner than maybe other people are. And then I went and you see these numbers here. There's a script I made the other day. So 13, this is 725, 275. This says 375, 925. There's a number up top here. So this is essentially looking at the distance between the swings, right? So you have a swing at the top, swing at the bottom, swing at the top, swing at the bottom, swing at the top, swing at the bottom. So I'm looking at the range between the top swing and the bottom swing. And so I'm using that range. And that's a fairly complex script too. Maybe it doesn't have to be, but it took some time. Anyway, so I'm looking at that range there, and I'm saying, like, that's the wave. That's the length of the wave, right? So boom to boom. And so I'm using that as a gauge to determine how low I want my risk to be versus how high I want my reward to be. So if this distance coming down here is, say, 13 bars, or this wave here is, say, 8, not 13 bars, but 8 points, then if I'm saying that this is a decent place to get in, I should almost figure that the next range down will be another 8 bars. So, well, this happened to be 13, and then this one happened to be 7. But at any rate, I probably need to adjust that. And as I was looking at this strategy being implemented throughout the day, I think I really just need to stop trying to get in on every potential long, and then only take these potential longs that are going in the ascending direction. So if the chart is over the 200 EMA, or SMA, or it's over the VWAP, I need to have something to help signify that we're in a bullish direction. But once I can find that we're in a bullish direction, this script works really well. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit of the script. Like I said, this is one of my bread and butters here, so I'm not going to give this one away. Of course, you can pull it off of here if you want to, but this is essentially it. All right, so we're doing all the declarations. We had the inputs. We got some methods for rangefinder for the time of the bar, and then we're doing account checks to make sure that we have the right amount of money in the account and that we don't drop below a certain threshold before stopping trading for the day, that we're trading during the right time of the day. And then we have some of our script as far as just the conditions of entry, order tickets, all that kind of stuff. So like I said, this is my absolute longest script so far. A few of the things that I learned from during this script was, one, just again, be sure that when you're doing your bracket orders, that you have a negative here for the stop price offset. I mean, you would almost assume if you're in a long position that your stop price for the protection on the bottom side will be X number of points below. But this doesn't assume that. This says, hey, if it's below, then you need to put a negative. You need to put a minus, because this is parent plus. So when we go over to the bracket order ticket and we pull up the how we're coming up with the price that we're going to assign to the bracket order, this is parent plus. So the parent order is the initial order that goes in, right? So off of the order sends order. It's the initial order that goes in. So the target limit price style is going to be parent plus. So it's going to take this number and add it plus to the parent. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it's not a negative. Maybe if it was just protection stop price style, and then it was just an amount, it could be assumed that this was a negative. But because it's parent plus means you're adding, then we need to add a negative. All right, so that's one of the issues that I had. Another one of the issues that I had, when you're combining multiple scripts, which I had to do with this, I think I combined 3 scripts, maybe 4 scripts altogether. One of the things I did was let me see if I can get it all together. So one of the scripts did not allow for, well, in your strategies, it does not allow for plotting altogether. Okay, so what I had was, I had this area here. So this took me about 2 or 3 hours to kind of get to the bottom of. I had already taken this part out here because I knew that I didn't need to I didn't need to use any dictionaries or do a stream writer or stream read or anything like that. So that was coming from the script, right? So I knew I needed to take this out. So I went ahead and kind of quoted or commented this out, whatever you call it. But I didn't comment this out. That being said, all this was commented out, right? And so this, essentially, this was not commented out. So this said, if get app info AI real-time calc equals 0, which means that it's a historical bar, then, and this wasn't here, this is commented out, so this is invisible. Well, the next thing that comes after then is this, count ticks plus equals 1, which means that we're adding 1 to each of the count ticks on every single tick. Now, if this was gone, if this was not here, and this was the next thing, then the statement would have read, if get app info AI real-time calc equals 0, then if open crosses over SA9, and then that doesn't make sense, and then this would have gave me an error, and I would have known that I had to come back and make a correction. However, it wasn't. This was here, and this is a complete, it's a complete statement or calculation. If get app info equals AI real-time calc, if get app info AI real-time calc equals 0, then count ticks plus equals 1. Now that's valid. So it did not come back with an error. So I kept overlooking that. Every time I kind of ran back over and visually looked through it, I kept overlooking that. A couple things I learned today. Like I said, I've been programming, doing this programming stuff for about a year and a half, 2 years. I've really got to look back to see when I started. But I found out here that if you go under edit and then you go to advanced, you can make uppercase, lowercase, you can comment a selection, uncomment a selection, comment a block, or uncomment a block. Okay, so one of the things that I started doing was I just kind of came through here and I started making everything uppercase. I was just kind of going through and starting to clean it up a little bit, make it look neat. I took all of my variables and I pulled them over to Microsoft Excel, cleaned them up, put them in alphabetical order, brought them back over, and then I started cleaning up my methods. So as I'm doing all this cleaning up, and then I'm just kind of minimizing as I go, it's easier for me to see and make sense. I can clear one section and then I can move on to the next. Clear one section and then move on to the next. And that's what I was doing. And then when I got down here to whatever area I was at, I said, whoa, this is saying something, and then this is out, and the next thing is saying this. So immediately I knew what my error was. Fixed it, and then we're off to the races. Now, just because we're off to the races doesn't mean that we were successful. So by the time I finally got this thing up and running, it was about 3:30 30 or so. So we were in this range. Now the market during the day, it happened to come down to that range there. It came down to right around here. This was around 3:30. No. Maybe it was around 3 o'clock. Maybe it was around right in here. Okay, so we kind of sold off all day. Found this area here, which was, looks like this was, maybe this was from today. I don't know when this was from. It says 724. Was this the low of 724? Yep, this was the low of 724. Okay, so we hit the low of yesterday, and then we had a nice bounce up. I guess most of you guys could have probably saw that coming. I didn't, but anyway, I'm trading my strategy, so I'm just letting it do the work. And if it's wrong, then it's wrong, and I've got to go back and fix stuff. Anyway, so we got right down here to around 3 o'clock, and so at 3 o'clock, when we go back to the actual, let me put it on a clean chart so you can see what it did. So we got at 3 o'clock, and the chart started to move sideways. It went into a little bit of a consolidation, or maybe some distribution before a slight move up. And with that, that's when I finally got my strategy together. So it started taking place in orders, and it was looking good. It was looking good. I was in profit, right? Because I think down through, or maybe I finally got it working right in here, right around 2 o'clock, 2:40 or something like that. And then it put me into a few positions, and then, it got me stopped out. And then all through here, all through the sideways movement, it, took profit. So it was working. I'm thinking in my head that this is going to be definitely a profitable strategy, and I'll be able to run with this thing tomorrow on my real account. And then as we move up, it didn't find any entries, which was fine. But then on the way back down, it took several entries. Entry here, stopped out. Entry here, stopped out. Entry here, stopped out. And again, the stop margin is based on how long the prior distance is. So the prior here, from here to here, if that's long, then this is going to be long. And actually, it should almost be reversed, right? So, yeah, I have to figure out some code to accommodate for that. But if we're sliding back downhill, then we certainly don't want to give more range to be on the losing side. But essentially, that's what it did. But it only did it because there's so much distance from this swing to this swing, that longer distance. And so once the entry was here, it gave that longer distance again. Okay. But and then that's the other thing is on my indicator here. Like you can see where the entries are. Boom, 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 boom. Now I used this indicator this morning during pre-market, which I'm not supposed to trade pre-market, but I was excited. I saw it doing well yesterday. I saw it doing well this morning. So I used it to trade pre-market, and it did me justice. It did me justice. It on the combine that I'm trading, I think I was up like 900 for the day, and I just went ahead and shut it down and locked myself out. But I've got to figure out how to put another filter on here so it's a little more, because there's plenty of entries during the day, right? So look at all these blues. So there's plenty of entries for the day. So if I can whittle this thing down a little bit and have less entry, even if I had half the entries, even a quarter of the entries, if they were high value entries, high probability entries, then I would be, I think I'd be all right. So I saw these entries coming up, but then on my actual chart where I had the strategy set up, it wasn't taking any entries. It wasn't taking hardly any entries. And it would only take entries after I reset the chart. So some of these entries, like I said, I'm sitting here for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours working on this thing. And as I'm working on something and then I verify the script, it'll take an entry. And then as soon as it gets stopped out, or if I manually stop it out, because I manually stopped it out because I want to see, will it take another entry? It'll take that first entry, but then it won't take the next entry. It'll take the first entry, won't take the next entry. Oh, that's another thing I learned about strategies. So when you do have your strategies on, you need to go to, if you're using a strategy, let's see, let me put it on so that we can, I'll just put on anything here. All right, so if you're using a strategy that does use intrabar persist, what you want to do is, let me show you this. When you're in a study, you go to, let me just pull up any study. All right, when you're in a study, you go to general and then you can go to update value intrabar. That's your intrabar persist. That's allowing you to update your values intrabar. So, you still do want to declare your variables as intrabar persist, right? But you also need to set that strategy up as intrabar persist. That study up as intrabar persist. Now, when you go to the strategy, when you're here on your strategy, when you go to customize, it doesn't have the same customize as the studies do. It doesn't have an area for, like if you look here for properties for all, it doesn't have intrabar persist, right? The closest thing you'll find is like this part here, which I believe you do still need to put that for the backtesting part. But what I found is you want to go to customize, and then for calculation, you want to enable intrabar order generation and calculation. And then you can set whatever radio button you want to for this, but that allows the strategy to perform calculations intrabar. Like I said, I wasn't getting the results that I was looking for, so I had to try to figure things out, and I just set a simple print strategy, set a simple print statement on the strategy, and because you've got like hundreds of ticks going on, I said for every tick, add to the count and print the count. And it was only printing the count on every new 15-second bar. So I knew that something was wrong. I knew it wasn't, I knew that the strategy wasn't intrabar persist, which was a problem because this whole script is. So I did a little bit of research on the TradeStation forums, came back to find out that yes, you need to either and go to intrabar order generation and calculation, or at the top of your script. So, and it doesn't like it up here. I guess you could put it up there, but you really don't want to put it above the variables or the inputs. But you can't put it before the methods. You have to put it otherwise at the top. Intrabar order generation equals true. And when you put that, now the script will be a intrabar persist script. So let's go to bid bus. Okay, here. Now when I come to here and I go to customize, now you see it's even grayed out. Like I can't take it off of intrabar order generation at this point because it's in the script that it has to be enabled. All right, so set whatever you want there, and then you turn your script on. Okay, so I think that's the main things, the main errors, main issues that I found today. The main things that I learned. Let's see if there is. I made myself a couple notes. This is for me. This is not for you. But Yes, a for vectors calculation, make sure you are assuming a vector's count. Yep. When I started combining my scripts to have a good filter, I brought in a script that and it should have gave me an error before, but anyway, I said, so when I'm looking for the highs here, and I'm looking for the lows, and I'm looking for the highs, I'm looking for the lows, and I'm looking for the highs, and I'm looking for the lows. When I find these highs and the lows, I find the distance between the two, and then I take that range and I put it into a vector. Well, I have a vector for the bearish, and I have a vector for the bullish, a vector for the bearish, and a vector for the bullish. They're not always equal. But what I said was, I said if the count of the bullish vector is greater than 10, then I want to take both vectors and I want to perform a method through the count of the bearish vector. The problem is the count of the bearish vector and the bullish vector are two different counts. So it kept giving me this error that said that the vector is either invalid or it's the vector is either empty or is an invalid index. And so again, I had to make sure that I attached the correct call of indexes to the count of the vector. You have to do that. You have to do that every time when you're looking at a vector. Okay. Next thing. Yep, we talked about the parent plus for the bracket orders. We talked about the intrabar order persists, order calculation. And I read something earlier today that said that vectors are inherently, they're intrinsically intrabar persists. And I think in that same area I read that a vector's values can be calculated within a method, but an array cannot be calculated within a method. So that's very interesting. But I mean, I really have been doing a lot with vectors. I haven't been doing as much with arrays. Now, I was doing a lot with arrays when it came to putting information into like Excel and that kind of thing. But nowadays, I'm pretty much using vectors and dictionaries. Okay, and that's it. So, last thing I'm going to do today is it's on my list to like share data between two charts. And I know you can do this with the global dictionary, but I don't know how quick it is, right? So I'm saying essentially if a condition on this bar is met, I want to send it to this chart over here. And if it gets sent to that chart over there, then I want to see how quickly it plots, or can it plot the same bar that this one plots, or how quick it is. So that's all I'm going to do today. Like I said, this is something new for me. Global dictionaries is not, but using it in this fashion will be. So let's see what we got. All right, I'm going to put this on a 1 minute chart. Well, since we're going to do it for the bar, let's put it on the 5 second chart. Hopefully we get something that we can call on. It's 8 o'clock, so chart is moving. New indicator, show me. So we really need two. We're gonna put GD, Global Dictionary, send test. Okay, and then we get this out of here. And then we're going to do another one. It's going to be another show me. This would be Global Dictionary receive test. Okay, get that out there. All right, so we're going to say, let's get some information here about these charts Can we do anything with volume? All right, so we're going to say if we have a bullish bar and it has volume greater than 6-period moving average, then we're going to plot the low. Okay, so if bull and ticks greater than V6, then plot low. We'll make it blue. That need a comma. Comma. GD receive. GD. Send. No, that's the receive. Receive. Can I add them both? I can only add the receive right now. That is the wrong one. We need to copy this. This needs to be on the send. Send that right there. Okay. And we're going to say, just so we don't see all this other stuff over here for those other bars, let's just say if last bar on chart and bull, then that send. Okay, let's go back, get rid of this, verify, come back, add the send. GD, where you at? Show me. GD, send. Okay. All right, so it's the last bar on the chart. This last bar on the chart, and it's a bullish candle, and the ticks is greater than V6 of the ticks. Then we're going to, yeah, there we go. So we got a bullish candle. The volume or the ticks is greater than the 6-period moving average of the ticks. So they plotted the low blue. Now, if we get that low blue plot, then we're going to send that to the receive. But what to do with it? I tell you what. We're just going to use it as a simple way to say, hey, this bar is the bar that we're looking for. And so if we get this bar, then what we're going to do is we're going to send the high. We're going to, if this bar is true, then we're going to plot here the low, but then we're going to send the high, right? You follow me? You follow me. Okay, so last bar on chart in blue and bull and ticks greater than V6 and plot low. So instead of just plotting, we're going to do a couple things. So we need to have a begin, end. So we're going to begin, end. Okay, and then we need to have a dictionary which first checks to make sure that it doesn't already have something in the dictionary in that key. And then if it doesn't, then we're going to plot. So we need to say, we need to come up with a dictionary name, which is going to be bull if bull crap dot contains, and the key is going to be bar date time dot format, and it's going to be the hour, month, day, year, month, day, year, hour, minute, second. Okay, that's going to be the key. Okay, if it doesn't contain that, then begin. We're going to add it. We're going to do bull crap dot add. What is the key? The key is going to be the bar date time. Paste. What are we going to add? We're going to add the high of that bar. High. End. Okay. All right. Now we had a dictionary on there, right? So a couple things we need to do. We need to using EL system I think we have to use collections because it's a dictionary, and then we have to use I think it's IO, which is like input output. eosystem.io for our dictionary, our global input output dictionary. So now we're going to do global dictionary, and we're going to do bull crap is null, and then we're going to once on the script, we're going to do once bullcrap is equal to global dictionary dot create, and then how are we going to create it? You have to go down to the second one if you're going to share it, right? So the first one allows you to initialize a new class, but then the second one allows you to share it with a string name. Okay, so share, so the bool true, and then the share name is going to be, we'll just call it bullcrap. Can we just do that? Or will it consider that to be redundant from this name? Okay, no errors, so it didn't consider it to be too redundant. All right, so now we'll go over here, and now this is the receive one. So we will say we need to open up that global dictionary. So using elsystem.io, and then using elsystem.collections, and then we need to open up a variable, which will be a global dictionary, and then we don't have to call this bullcrap, we call it bullcrap receive. All right, and then we'll say that's null, and then once on the chart we will do new once bullcrap receive is equal to global dictionary dot create, and then again when you hit create you go down one more and then have share or string name share, yes. And how are we referencing? How are we identifying the shared global dictionary? Well, the name was called bull crap. Now I tried this before, and you do actually have to use the same name if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know if it's case sensitive or not. We can try that here in a second. We'll try a couple things. I don't know if it's case sensitive, but we'll try it. All right, so we'll just verify that, see if there's any errors there or not. All right, and now, just to prove to you, now we're on the test. We're on the test, just to prove to you that we are actually tapping into this dictionary. Let's go and let's print bull crap receive dot count. So this will count for us how many, or this will tell us how many instances have been saved, how many keys have been saved into the bull or the bull crap global dictionary. If last bar on chart ex, then print. Okay, come over here, open it up. All right, so it's only saved one, or that's the number that we're getting. But if we look back here, if we go back in time, we actually put this together pretty quickly. But so far, yeah, we've only had this one that's showed up at 2032.30. Okay, now 2032.30. No, it's 2032.25. Now let's print this out. Let's print out what is the key right here. So at the 0 index, so the first index of the global dictionary, what is right there? Bullcrap receive dot items, or we could just put 0. Bullcrap receive Oh, because let's see, from integer to string. So the number that was put in here was a integer or double, but I guess it's an integer. So now we have 2 or 3. Right? It should be 3 now. Because that was 1, this is 2, this is 3. Oh, but now we have this this error here, so it's not continuing to do any more prints because we don't have the script on there. All right, so if last bar shot they print, all right, so we need to do that. This is that to string. Cannot convert parameter from integer to string. Okay, well, I'll tell you what we can do. If it's an integer, we'll do number to string. So we can convert it that way with 2 decimal places. No? Bullcrap receive at 0. Well, the only other thing that I can think about doing is, and that's the thing. So I need to figure out when you can do this, because you saw I just did number to string. NUMTOSTR, number to string. You can do string to number to string. But then there's also this thing where, especially in a vector, you want to use this. You want to say as type such and such. As type string. Yeah, it's not letting me do that either. Maybe items. Oh, it doesn't even have, yeah, there it does. Items of, oh, because it's looking for the key. It's looking for the key, not for the index. And I want to know what I want to print the key. So we need to do keys of index 0. There we go. There we go. All right. So you see here, that first index was 20, 32, 25. See right here, 20, 32, 25. Now we've had a couple more since we've been messing around here. So the one in the first index, and the second index, and the third index. So let's pick the one in the second index here. Should be 20, 35, 45. All right, so first, second, see, 20, 35, 45. So it does push it over pretty quickly. But now what we want to know is if we get one of these instances, can it push it over quick enough and then plot it to this chart at the same time? So there's a thing that you can do with Global Dictionary that is, let's pull up the dictionary. And we're going to type in Global Dictionary so we can get the event handler. So if an item is added, this is what you want to use. Item added. Now, like I said, I haven't done this before, so we're doing it together. That item added. Okay, well, so it probably should look like this. We should take the dictionary that was pulled from bullcrap, but it's called bullcrap receive. So bullcrap receive dot item added. It's going to be plus equal to, we'll call the method, we'll call it new bull ish. I don't know, man. I'm feeling away today. So and then we'll do that, and then so we go back up here again. Your method has to be after your declarations, before any of the main body. Okay, so we come right up here, method, void, new, bullish, close that, begin, end, O, and then up here we have to paste what we found in the dictionary, and then so we have that. So now I should verify, no errors, very good. Okay, so now if we do have a new event here, then I'm going to say print new addition. We'll just kind of hang out and see how long it takes for it to print that. I would have thought it would have. Oh, that is a bullish candle, but the volume was not over the 6-period moving average of the volume, so it didn't do it. All right, so we're looking for our next bullish candle with the volume over the 6-period moving average of the volume, and we should then instantly get a something that says new addition. Right here. Right here. Right here. Got a feeling we're going to have some bears coming in here pretty soon, though. 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps. All right, while this is setting up, let me see what we need to do next. So next, we need to take the value and we're going to compare the key to the current bar and if it's the same. But that's the thing, I don't think it can do it quite that quick. I think it's got to do it when the bar closes. On the close of the bar. But if it does it on the close of the bar, then it can't do it on the close of the bar and also have it available for the close of the bar on the next chart. Because that, if they both close at the same time, but this one creates data, creates a plot, but they both close at the same time, then this one can't do anything with this data because it also closed at the same time. So, I don't know. So I'm thinking it won't do it. Okay, there we go. We got one. All right, good. So we got one and it said new addition. So it worked just as it was supposed to. However, I do believe that this was maybe a hair late. I mean, relatively. I mean, it takes a millisecond or a nanosecond for it to send it over. So, yeah, I don't know. So let's see. So the next thing is to say once we have this new addition, we know that we have the new addition. We know that it works. We know that once we get a new addition into the global dictionary that it will print and plot. Now we've got 11 plots into our, we've got 11 keys or 11 elements in our dictionary. Let's see. All right, so here we want to plot we want to say if bar date time format of our current bar, which is going to be month. I'm not good with doing all these operators this quick. I'm just not. Month, day, year, hour, minute, hour, minute, second. Okay, that. If the bar date and time, oh, Oh, if that dictionary, if bullcrap received dictionary contains that key, you have to check if it contains it first, otherwise you're going to get an error. Then begin. What do you want to begin? You want to plot what? You're going to plot whatever's in the dictionary stored by the key. Okay, so you're going to plot bull crap receive bull crap receive at with that key. And that key is this. I'm not going to type it over. You know my typing skills are not that great now, so we won't belabor the point. Bullcrap received bar date time for that. And that will be a number. So I think we need to put as type double. And then that. And then that's it. Oh, plot 1. Okay, so we got it done. Let's see, is that on here? Yes, that's on here. So technically, when we get that bullish bar, it's normally going to plot its blue low, but now we should get a plot at the high also. If it's that quick, if it's quick enough to plot it on the same bar, we're going to get a plot on the high as well. I don't think it's that quick. I don't think it's that quick. I think it's going to store it in the dictionary for you to then later, you know, sort through or do something with. Or maybe you need to store the, yeah, I don't know, to back plot it or something. All right, come on. It's been going slow long enough. It goes slow, then it goes fast. It goes slow, then it goes fast. All right, there's the speed kicking in. Come on. Need some elevator music. Oh, it's going to drop for a while, huh? Can't drop that much longer. We got a little bit of high volume that just came in on that third bar from the last. Well, not high, but higher than average. Time to turn it around. Turn that thing around. Oh, you guys can't even see the screen because I'm all in the way. There you go. Oh man, a lot more bears. Bears. There we go. There's a bull. And yes. Wow. It is that quick. I am shocked. That's crazy. I've got to wrap my head around that. I've got to wrap my head around that. That's crazy quick. I am constantly stunned at how friggin' quick this environment is. I mean, you wouldn't believe how some of the calculations and computations and scripts that I put together. I mean, I'm almost daring. I mean, I'm just challenging this system to fail. I mean, I'm putting a lot on it, and my scripts are probably nothing compared to some of these folks who are really experienced. But oh man, I've got lots of implications for this thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Um. So global dictionary, yes. But even with the dictionary, we could save a string of that, just like I do with my stream writing. I could just save a string of data, and then not stream write it over, but pull it over into a token list, and then just use it on all my charts instead of. Wow. I've almost got to completely revamp the way I do things, but I'm still a novice at this stuff, man. I really am. I really am. So as I continue on, I'll just make the corrections and adjustments as I go. But then I'll move in this direction. And this is so much cleaner than what I'm doing. A global dictionary. Yeah. I could just call on it one time at the beginning, or I wouldn't even have to. I have to figure it out because as the chart moves through the historical bars, it could just reach out to the well, I would need to let one of the scripts set up first, and that'll pull all the data from a stream write, and then that'll save everything to a global dictionary, and then from there, everything else will pull from that global dictionary. And then it can share the data as it goes. Yeah, I'm gonna play with this tomorrow because because like I said, I'll have multiple charts, watching the tick data, right? I have multiple charts watching the tick data. If I have multiple charts watching the tick data, I could just have one chart watching the tick data and then sending the information in the global dictionary to the other charts. And I presume that would be faster. Instead of instead of the computer having to check and keep track of every tick, I presume it would be faster for it to just at the end of the bar just check for that update. That's crazy. I'm thinking about updating intrabar. If the global dictionary will work intrabar persist. Like I said, I know that a vector can work intrabar persist, but I don't know if a dictionary can. So I've got some things to look up. I've got some things to try, play around with some things. But yeah, that's all I had in store for you guys today. I hope you all learned something along this process, as I certainly did. Like I said, and the idea here is not to just put this on the same chart, right, like this, but then to go to another chart, say another workspace, and then open up the chart on another workspace. Same 5-second time frame, and I think that'll be important too. Otherwise your data will be meaningless. It'll definitely be meaningless. All right, so we're going to do that same GD receive test. Okay, so I got it turned on. And so now on this one, whenever we see this bullish bar that meets the criteria, we won't see that bottom one show up because we don't have the send test on. We only have the receive test on, so we should only get the top plot. We won't get the bottom plot. We should only get the top plot. Let's see if it happens as soon as we get a top bar. And again, this is a whole new workspace. Actually, I'm going to open up a whole new desktop and see how well it does there. All right, so all I got to do is copy and paste that whole chart there. Paste it onto this one. Okay, we can watch this at the same time. So we have a new workspace and a whole new desktop. And everything else, the sending script is on a whole other workspace. So let's see how quickly it acts. Wow. But I don't feel like it showed up. I don't feel like it showed up at the end of the bar. I feel like it showed up at the end of this bar or within this bar. So I tell you what I can do. I can do this. And I can do this. And so now when it shows up, we'll see if it shows up at the same time or not. And by the same time, I mean so quick that it happens at the end of the bar. When the final border of the bar prints. When the blue dot prints, does the red dot print? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. The moment of truth. Nope, not on that one. I mean, that one wasn't the one that met the condition. Okay, we got another blue bar. Is it going to be this one? Is the volume right? Yes. Wow. It did it instantaneously. That is crazy. Again. That's crazy. That's crazy. So again, the global dictionary is quick enough to work like, well, at least for this, for one variable, for one index, not needing to do a token list and all that, is quick enough to work like a global variable. So you can set up a send and set up a receive. And again, guys, remember, like this other one here, this is on a whole new desktop. This is sending the information across out of the workspace onto another desktop, onto another workspace. So that's pretty impressive. I mean, for it to do it that quick, like it didn't even. Oh, that's crazy, man. I love the speed of this computer, man. I don't know if it's this computer. I don't know if it's TradeStation. I don't know what it is, but I am going to exploit it while I can, because nothing lasts forever. And but I know a good thing when I see it, though. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna stick with this. Y'all stick with what you doing, and maybe we'll meet somewhere in the middle. As for now, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.